So today we're going to continue solving by factoring. What we're looking at here is when we have equations that aren't normal or aren't just straight quadratic equations. So here we have fractions. All we have to do is simplify this. We can either multiply everything by 6 and then everything by 3. But in this case, if we multiply everything by 6, it's going to clear all of the fractions. So I'm just going to write in what I'm doing here just so that we know. We have to multiply every term by 6. So 6 times x squared would be 6x squared, divided by 6 would just give us x squared. Minus 4 times 6 is 24, divided by 8 would give me 8x, equals negative 12. Now after that, all we have to do is bring the 12 over to the other side. So we get x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals 0. And now we can solve by factoring by just finding two numbers that multiply to 12 and add to negative 8. Okay, so looking at this, we're going to have two negatives. So we put our x's in the front. And then when we factor this, we're going to get 6 and 2. So 6 times 2 is 12. 6 plus 2 is 8. They're both negative, so we get negative 8. So then we get x equals 6 or x equals 2. Okay. Moving on to the next one. We're going to look at this one. It's exactly the same process. So we're going to have that 4. We got to multiply it to the other side. So we're going to get 1 minus 5n squared equals 4 times 31. So we're going to get 124. We're going to, it's negative 124, excuse me. We're going to move that 1 over. So I get negative 5. N squared equals negative 125. Now there's really two ways to solve this. So we can create n squared equals 25 by dividing the 5 over. Now a lot of people struggle at this part. So there's two ways to do it. The first way would be that we get n equals plus or minus the square root of 25 because we've added in the square root. So then we get n equals plus or minus 5. The other way we could do that is if we have n squared equals 25, we could bring everything to one side, n squared minus 25 equals 0. Now it's just a difference of squares. We get n minus 5, n plus 5 equals 0, then n equals 5 or n equals negative 5. So both of these ways will work. The second method is probably a better method for most of us to make sure we don't forget both of the solutions. Finally, if we have a question like this, probably the best way to get through this question is to expand it out. Sometimes if this is a perfect square, we will have difference of squares and we could work through it that way. But in this case, let's just expand it out and see what we get. So this is going to become x squared minus 12x plus 36 minus 8x equals 0. So now when we're going through this, there's a bunch of different things that people want to do, but realistically all we have to do is collect like terms. So we're going to get here x squared minus 20x plus 36 equals 0. Now when we're doing this, we need two numbers that multiply to 36 and add to negative 20. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here, x equals 0. We know both of them have to be negative. And now let's just work through our factors of 36. 1 and 36 wouldn't add to 20. A lot of people want to do 6 and 6. Well, that's only going to add to 12. But if we had 2 and 18, well, 2 times 18 is 36. 2 plus 18 is 20. We make them both negative and we get our answer. So then this is going to be x equals 2 or x equals 18. And that is how you do more complex questions.